Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Media Crash Podcast, Episode 4, where we are going to be talking about the heist genre, just in video games and movies and TV shows and pop culture, and just our experiences with it. My name is Holden, otherwise known as Time to Grind. I am the face of this operation.
My name is Daniel. You'll find me as not Daniel on the net. I'm the hacker. I hack shit.
I'm Matthew. I am the getaway driver / face of the operation.
So we have two faces?
Yeah, we're the two-faced organization. That's how it goes.
I'm sorry.
Off the air, we spent like 2 minutes planning what we were all going to be, and this is what happens. So
this is how heist movies work. You make a plan, you try and execute the plan, and the plan goes wrong. So you have to do a new plan.
There we go. So
he's the wild card. That's what he is.
Exactly. So our new plan is to just talk about the heist genre, I guess, in this episode. And the heist genre is pretty interesting because not only do you have dedicated, heist movies and video games, but there's also a lot of heist scenes in a lot of other movies. So I think first off, the game that all of us have played that most people probably think of when they think of heist video games is the Payday series, especially Payday 2.
Yeah, I played too much of that game. I think I have 500 hours on Steam. Did the whole pre-order bullshit for it. Pretty fun game. Kind of scummy developers, but fun game.
Yeah.
I have a very love-hate relationship with Overkill. Overkill are the people that made Payday, for those of you who don't know. And they come out with a ton of DLC. That's its whole own thing. But the game itself, it's pretty fun. It really, you can do heists a whole bunch of different ways. You can sneak in, or you can just fight wave after wave of cops. It's really interesting. And they cover a whole bunch of things. You're not just robbing banks over and over again. Sometimes you're breaking into a military compound, or you're breaking into a jewelry store. There's a lot of stuff that you can do with heists, a lot of different scenes or scenery that you can investigate. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, what I really liked about that game, honestly, is just as a first-person shooter snob, the gameplay and just how smooth that game actually felt. It just felt really good. In terms of everything, I don't think I was a hacker that much in that game. So I don't know how that part of it went. Did you ever
a hacker in Payday?
Well, wasn't there to hack the security cameras or hack the alarms?
There was that's the. Well, you would use a ECM jammer and all that to get in. Yeah, they had a kind of a hacker there. You would disable.
Is it a role, or can anyone do it?
It was a role. So everyone had their own special thing.
And there were perk trees and everything to help you do your. Yeah. That's what I liked about it, because it's it really made it feel like you were part of a little group that was doing these heists. It wasn't just everybody was going in and stealing stuff. It was one person was focusing
one person
on.
Brought a saw. One person brought a really good drill or something like that. Person brought hacking tools.
Speaking of games, I think on the opposite spectrum, although I enjoyed the heists, I think they weren't really done well, though, was in GTA 5.
Oh, the heist in GTA 5?
So they honestly made the game very entertaining, worth playing for a while, because they're just genuinely interesting missions. But the matchmaking in that game is garbage. And every time you failed, it would just hit the loading screen. You have to go through. You would zoom out in that stupid fucking sky, and then wait for everyone to restart, and then you'd lose $500 each time you died. So you kind of stressed about whether or not you'd make your money back. I mean, I guess you did because it was a heist. But
yeah, from what I remember from the GTA 5 heist is, with Payday, it made it kind of feel like there were some bigger ones, Daniel was talking about, breaking into military bases and stuff like that. But overall, I feel like most of the missions were kind of smaller, break this bank or, this jewelry thing. But the heists in GTA 5, I can't remember any specific examples, but they were all AAA title, movie, action, do you remember any examples of them?
The very first one was only a 2-person heist, and that was just robbing a small bank, right? The deposit boxes. And
Yeah,
then
you had to,
okay,
like,
yeah.
just hack into it or something. The one I
it,
remember mostly, you had to break into this prison, I think, to get someone out of jail.
that
And
one
like
was,
one person was flying a plane,
I
two
remember
people
that
went
one.
into the prison. I think one person was driving a car.
I think whoever was in the plane or the helicopter also had like missiles or like a machine gun or something.
No, I think the plane had to dodge missiles and machine gun fire
Okay,
from
maybe
like
that's
other
what it was.
planes.
the problem is in Payday you have the variety. You can, if you're smart enough, you can approach it without having to kill anyone. But if you go loud, you know how to go loud. In GTA, no matter what, you're having to fight through a bunch of people, and you have to do the exact same thing, and you have to go through the steps every time, even though you technically already have the vehicle. Every
Yeah.
That is one. Oh,
Oh no,
you
go
were
ahead.
saying? Oh, that is one pretty cool thing about like the heist genre. You can do a lot with it. So like, you can do a lot with a lot of genres actually, but specifically the heist genre. You can do one where it's a group of very professional criminals breaking into a place silently. They get little keyboards out or little lockpick sets, and they're doing their thing. Or you can have it be some charismatic person just talking their way into the vault. Or you can have like just guns and masks and giant action films. That's good too. Have
And
y'all
that's
ever seen?
go ahead.
It's kind of heist related. Have y'all ever seen? I think it's Drive or Driver. Basically,
No, but I've heard of it.
it's like if Hotline Miami were a movie. It's this really sleek, kind of 80s themed movie about an escape driver.
Or is the
It,
Baby Driver? Or am I thinking of
no,
No,
just
you're thinking
Driver.
about you're thinking about the guy. Fuck, I forgot the guy director's name.
Ryan Gosling?
No, it's Ryan Gosling's in. What you're
Baby
talking about, Driver. You're
Yeah, you're talking about Baby Driver. That's like
you're
a whole
talking about Baby
different
Driver.
movie.
Yeah,
Okay, so
you're right.
continue on what Driver is then.
So, like, basically the whole movie, it has heists in it, but it kind of looks into the kind of criminal underworld surrounding the heists, which I think is pretty cool. That's always really cool in, like, crime movies when you have a whole criminal underworld set up. Uh, in Drive itself, like, they do a heist, of course, spoiler alert, but, like in every heist movie ever, it goes wrong.
Uh-oh.
And a whole bunch of other plot stuff happens, but I don't want to spoil it. It's a good movie. You should go watch it. It's what made that Night Call song kind of enter the public consciousness.
Okay. Yeah, kind of going back to just games and how we were talking about like how heist can be done so differently. I think that's what's really good. Like when you have a game that's dedicated about like heisting, so like Payday, it does a really good job at being able to like do all the different types of, ways to do heist, like going loud or going quiet. And I think that's why like GTA kind of failed a little bit in that aspect, like
In
you
the
were saying,
multiplayer.
Matthew.
Well, they didn't really give you any choices in GTA.
Yeah, because it was just
It
like
was
a
just,
linear, like just action experience. That
it
makes
may as well have just been like a normal mission.
yeah.
All they did with Heist was they just took the name. They just said, okay, you're stealing stuff. Do these exact steps. And, you could do that format with pretty much any mission. They didn't do anything special with the fact that you're stealing stuff.
Yeah, that's a good way to think about it. That makes me think of on the opposite side of the spectrum. Kind of, I mean, it's a heist game, but there's this game called Monaco, and I think it's called like Monaco. What's yours is mine, and it's like this top-down like perspective, and there's all these different like classes. Like the mole can break through walls and everything, but that game is just a complete like clusterfuck, like because it purposely makes these like situations like super stressful and just everybody like flying all over the place, but just it kind of allows you to play it differently. And I think that's probably just if you have a game focused on heisting and it's a good heist game, hopefully it allows you to approach things differently. Have you guys seen? I know we've talked about the Batman series and Dark Knight, and Batman Dark Knight's one of my favorite superhero movies. And there is a heist scene at the very beginning of the movie with Joker.
Talked about this movie, the one with the really good Bane.
Well, no, that's Daniel. That's Dark
Wait,
Knight.
no, oh God, no, that's the Heath Ledger one.
Yeah,
I'm a fake fan, fake gamer boy.
Fake Gamer Boy. But yeah, the second movie has that awesome scene where it shows like all of the different, people and what their kind of jobs are and everything. And that's pretty awesome. Have you guys seen like any other like examples of heists in, movies?
Driver. You should watch Driver.
Driver.
I personally count the plane scene in the third Dark Knight trilogy, or in the third movie, to be kind of a heist.
Well, what happens in that scene?
So you have a man, Mr. CIA. He's captured 3 goons, and one of them is Bane. And basically, he goes on there specifically to steal the plane and kick Mr. CIA off. Or wait, no, it wasn't to steal the plane. They destroy the plane. He needed something from Mr. CIA, so they have this really amazing exchange, and by amazing I mean there's a shitload of memes on it, and it's one of those things where, in every heist movie ever where someone goes, oh, I actually had this happening all along, like I had someone in the vents and they disabled the laser grid or whatever.
Oh,
they kind of do that with the plane, and they're like, oh, there was a second plane following, grappling hooks into the other plane, and yeah. It's a pretty good scene. I like it.
What were you gonna say,
It was
Matthew?
cool. It was cool because that was like one of those. It was all real. Like there's like not much special effects. It was actually a plane literally just grappling onto another plane. If I remember.
Really? That's impressive.
Yeah, it was, because Christopher Nolan's all about trying to make it as surreal as possible. Real as possible, not surreal. Going back to Baby Driver, I think that even though it's not really a heist movie, it has heists in it, but like it's not the plot revolves around heists.
Yeah, it kind of focuses on like the getaway driver of a bunch of different like smaller heists.
Yeah, but what I like about those heists is like eventually they start finding more and more creative things to heist. It's not just cash. They like realize how much value is, and I think what was like some postal thing. I forgot. The very last one had like bonds or something that they're going to steal.
I kind of know what you're talking about. I've seen the movie twice, and I don't even remember it perfectly, but I kind of, yeah. But yeah, I mean, I think what's really cool about the heist genre in itself is it is such an like huge, like wide variety of genre, just like a lot of other genres. Like there's so much you can do in it. And I mean, even like what Daniel was saying with, one person's doing something and it seems like it fails. And then they're like, no, actually I've had another member of my squad doing this or, this. And it kind of, the genre itself allows you to suspend your disbelief a lot, because that in most of these heists, there is so much preparation that goes in. That's like half of a heist, is there's so much preparation going on that you can kind of reasonably say like, okay, yeah, it makes sense that they were like doing this the whole time or something like that.
We had, and Matthew, for the benefit of our podcast people listening, Matthew is the DM of a D&D group that I play in. So we did a heist session pretty recently. I think it was a few weeks ago. Then Corona happened, so unfortunately, that's one of the last few sessions we were able to play. And we had this whole setup for how we were going to do it. We were going to have some people cause a distraction, some people go to the vault. Heists can be used anywhere, even in like a high fantasy setting, because all a heist really is just, organized, prepared crime. Oh, one thing that I really liked as a DM is you let us do like one. Oh, but actually, I had someone on the inside the whole time. I gave
them one like bullshit like boon of like you explain that you had a guy on the inside the whole time to get you out of a certain situation. It was a nice little like way to flavor the heisters, because that's kind of how heists go.
Yeah.
So what I want to do now is, since we've kind of talked about like all of these heist games and movies and everything that kind of have influenced us, I want us to go on a hypothetical like heist. So we have the 3 of us. So we got to figure. So let's go through the planning phase here. Okay. So what are we wanting to do exactly? What is there?
Okay. Do you?
Children.
We can
We're
do.
breaking into an orphanage and stealing children.
Speaking
We're
of good
selling
movies,
them to Santa to work as elves.
Fantastic Mr. Fox. You know how he would start stealing like a farmer's like all his food. Why don't we find one of those assholes that just stocked up on a bunch of toilet paper and like necessary medical supplies for coronavirus patients to sell, and we heist all his shit and give it to like all the patients.
Yeah, I like
Okay,
that.
there we go. Okay, so let's just assume that we know of a warehouse here in good old Tejas, Texas.
It'll
And they're
probably be
just
in the woods
stockpiling.
somewhere or like out in the country because
Yes. Okay, so they're in the country.
they're
They
a
got a
crazy
warehouse.
prepper. They got to be away from the city for when the bombs drop.
Yes, and they got their whole doomsday thing, planned. So they got a bunch of hand sanitizer and toilet paper and masks, we'll say. Okay. So now what is the best way for us? So what are our roles, first of all? Because I know we made like joke roles at the beginning, but we need a driver that like, first of all, because we need to be able to like go out in the country and
A
then
designated cowboy.
designated cowboy.
Here's my plan. I roll up with my horse to the front door, and you'll feel free to add what y'all are doing while I'm doing this while I talk. I roll up to the house with a horse, all right? I'm on the horse. I'm shirtless, of course. I have a cowboy hat on, and I go
Okay.
up to him, and I say, "Howdy, mister. I couldn't help but notice that you needed some help on this here farm. Why don't you let me in and help you?" And, he's going to go, "Oh, hey, that person, they're out in this hot Texas weather. I might as well help them." So he's going to give me a job, and that'll get me on the inside. And when I'm on the inside, I'm going to turn dramatically towards the camera and put my finger on my ear and go, "I'm in." And, that's when y'all will do your part.
Okay, so
See.
is your focus to distract? Like, are you
Yeah,
being like
I'm just going in there to
All right.
distract him. All right,
Well, the
Okay.
whole time.
I'm going to
The
get
whole-
crazy Corona prepper onto the horse. I'm gonna like teach him how to ride, that sort of thing. He's gonna be way out in the country. He's gonna love it.
All right. This whole time though, you were dragging a cart of horse manure with you, and secretly the whole time in the horse manure,
no.
I will be there, waiting for this opportunity to infiltrate the warehouse.
I go, "Oh, horse manure can be used in hydroponics. In the event that, say, like nuclear radiation were to scorch the earth, we would need a ton of manure. Why don't I move this here trailer of manure that I happen to be carrying with me out into your backyard?" And
There's
he'll
a straw
he's a prepper.
out of the manure for me to bring.
Oh God. So now here's how this would go if it was a like heist movie. Okay, so you two are doing that. Okay, so you
Right.
you distract him. We sneak Matthew in. He jumps out of the manure and he goes into the main warehouse, but he smells like shit, figuratively and literally. Okay, and
Right.
so immediately like. The whole family just barges in and sees him because he smells so bad that they could smell him from a while away. And it seems like it's all over, okay? And then it cuts to me, and it's like this whole time I was sneaking through the vents somehow, and
The vents in this country home.
Let's see how.
Well,
can I
they probably
he's a
would have
prepper.
vents.
He probably has like some crazy air filtration system.
Okay, there
for
we
when the
go.
bombs
Yeah.
drop.
So it cuts back a little bit in time, and I'm crawling through the vents, and all of a sudden I just smell something terrible, and I'm like, Matthew, like I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, Matthew, what? That was not the I plan. What are you doing? And so you're
Matthew
caught.
just wanted to do that.
He just.
He's the wild
I'm just a
card.
second distraction in this role. Like that actually makes sense for a fucking heist movie. Just have two heist attempts.
So I drop in, and they're just so distracted by your awful smell that I go in and I don't know, do some kung fu or something that I absolutely totally know how to do, and I knock
Or
them
chase them out of the warehouse because I smell like shit. I'm just like
Oh my
trying
gosh.
to hug them.
You're going to use kung fu to beat up a 8-year-old with scoliosis and his poor pregnant wife? You're going to do all that, Holden? You're so evil.
But it's fine. They're hoarders.
Yeah,
No, they're just. She happened to marry him, and then he went crazy and started prepping. And now
Yeah.
they're not going to be able to feed their litter of puppies that was just born.
You should empathize with the people you're heisting.
So here's the sequel now, okay? I drop kick these people. I totally screw up their family. We all get immediately arrested, sent to prison, and now the second heist movie is
The first movie is just us failing.
Yes, and so now we are in.
Wait, how do I
prison.
get caught? I'm an innocent cowboy.
He like says you'd probably be like something you say, like you probably say something like,
or it'd be like, why'd you bring a guy in your horse manure?
Okay, yeah. How do you answer that question,
me.
Daniel? He's like, there was a man in your horse manure. Did you know that? And what was your response?
And I run off.
And then they catch you. They lock us all eventually up, and we are in a prison. So now the next heist is a prison breakout, and that's how we make millions.
Okay. The second movie, instead of the police telling us to do a heist, it's them trying to get us to heist for them to steal more toilet paper. But like in this movie, the sequel, we're not only heisting from normal people, like another group of people, so they can get more toilet paper, so they can sell more. While stealing that, we not only completed that heist in that movie, but we somehow successfully also heist them at the same time and get away with all the toilet paper and sell it to the poor. Or not sell it to the poor, give it to the poor.
Sell it.
See, that could be all the trailers. So all the trailers for this second movie could make it appear that we like completely flip sides, and we're actually, like helping heist for the hoarders. And then at the very end, the twist is that all along we didn't put it back in their warehouse after we got out of prison. We heisted it all for ourselves.
Directed by.
And also heisted theirs.
Yes, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. And so then the third movie.
I never left the horse manure.
The third movie for this
trilogy. The whole time, the man that jumped out of the horse manure was just some like homeless man.
My twin brother.
And we gave him $20, and we just said, "All right, we want you to stand in here, jump out, and just I don't know, go try and steal some hand sanitizer for us." And Matthew was in a fake bottom. There's more horse manure in the fake bottom.
Yeah, it was just filled with horse manure anyway.
I was gonna say we could have theoretically found like the twist in the second movie could have been that in that first movie those were our doppelgangers apparently. Like we just part of our planning process, because you can pull anything. You'd be like, well, yeah, see, actually that was all part of our plan. Those weren't us. Those were our doppelgangers. And then while they're in prison, we just go start heisting.
Wait, how do we make it okay for us to send our doppelgangers to jail?
We gave them plenty of toilet paper to use and sell in the prison system.
Also bad people. They look exactly like us.
They're actually secretly Nazis.
Yeah, there we go. That's how we make the audience sympathize against them.
We're bullshitting all this, but to be honest, this isn't too far off for some of the twists they have in movies. Where like they're not only heisting this one, but they're also heisting another place at the same time. Or
yeah, that makes me think of kind of going back to I think one of the only other like movies that have a lot of heists in it that I remember is a movie called like Now You See Me, and they did take like a magician approach from it, and I thought it was really cool because they're like magicians and they're doing a show and everything, and they're like, you know what? Like we're going to steal all this money from this bank in another country, and then like they pull the curtains down and then they pull them back up and there's all this cash and stuff, and then they do like I think that's one of my favorite parts about all the heist stuff is like when they show you what happened and then they show you like step by step how they actually like accomplished it, because it's almost like a Rube Goldberg machine. I don't know, like or like just a chain reaction. You know what I mean? Like of like how all that stuff worked, and I always think it's pretty cool.
I think my favorite parody of a heist thing is the Rick and Morty stupid episode where like it was one of the more recent episodes, but the whole joke was that they just got an AI to keep generating heist ideas, but the AI went rogue and started like heisting the planet they're on, and then they had to fight it by thinking ahead, but they couldn't think ahead because it would just think ahead of them. So it was just the stupidest thing, but the whole time it was all secretly a plot to get Morty to get sick of heist movies so he doesn't pitch one to Netflix, because Netflix always picks whatever you pitch.
That makes me think there was another Rick and Morty episode.
That's pretty meta.
like it starts off and all of the like Rick and Morty, they're in a simulation and they like find out that they're, you know, in a simulation, and they think it's because they got like captured and they're trying to get like Rick's, you know, formula or whatever for like some super fuel. And so the whole time it looks like they're actually being captured and everything, and like they're, you know, being imprisoned and they're trying to escape. But then it turns out that the whole time it was just an idea that Rick had to like blow up their whole planet or whatever. I don't know if you guys remember that episode, but
They do a lot of heist ass pulls in that movie, and it's or in a show, not movie, and it's not even a heist movie.
yeah.
Not movie.
Yeah. That's what I really like about the heist genre, is just because there's so much you can do with it, and just
it's so bullshit, but it's honestly entertaining most of the time.
Yeah.
That's what I love.
Man, well, I think we are running a little bit low on time, but is there any other, you know, games or movies or TV shows or heists or anything that you guys want to bring up?
Okay, Holden, go. How do we steal the toilet paper while our doppelgangers are in jail?
How do we steal it? Okay,
Yep.
we call in an AC-130 that we somehow had this entire time. Okay,
Okay.
and then
I hacked into the military.
Yes, okay. So then instead of it firing missiles, it somehow can fire a like inflatable missile, and I am inside the inflatable missile, okay? And it shoots me directly to where the toilet paper is with the rope, and then I grab as much toilet paper as I can,
All right.
fly away.
Matthew comes out of the second fake bottom, right?
And I'm just left there. I'm not even part of the second heist. You just guys forgot that I was.
He rolls around in the hand sanitizer while like the prepper and his family are all like at the police station giving their accounts of what the fuck just happened.
I just thought of a really good concept for like a heist like movie or game, and it would be like, what if there were like 3 different like organizations that were like heisting organizations, and so they all kept trying to like it was almost like a capture the flag game. They kept trying to like heist each other like at the same time, so like you had to leave some of your like heisting members like on defense to like make sure you weren't getting hacked or anything like that.
A giant game of capture the flag. I guarantee there's probably some YA fantasy that's based on that or something.
Because like I feel like that would be such a like, it'd be like capture the flag. Like you could even
I can see it now. When you're born, you're put into one of 3 possible.
These clans have been
Heist
fighting
families
for the last 1,000 years.
And then, but 2 are actually falling in love with each other as the first act, and that's like the start of the whole story.
Oh my gosh, man! Oh man!
Man, that really is the formula for young adults. All right, we should do an episode where we just like shit talk young adult fiction, because I would have so much fun with that.
Because they're mostly
target.
There's so many. If they get put into both shows, movies, and other things, you could probably make a whole episode on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, it has been a lot of fun talking about the heist genre. Just if you guys have any suggestions for, you know, genres or topics that you guys want to hear us talk about, you know, let us know in the comments down below. And, you know, next week we will be back at it again, talking about some other, you know, genre and our stupid thoughts on them. But, you know, make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube and, you know, listen to us on everywhere that you can, you know, do podcasts at. And I am Holden.
I'm Daniel, or not Daniel, or the hacker, as you can find.
The hacker. Your hacker name is just hacker, but with a 4 instead of an A.
Yes.
My name is Matthew the Wild Card. Like, that's just my name.
Matthew the Wild Card. That is on his
legally. Like, if you look up his birth certificate, it actually has the space wild card in his first name.
I could see it. But okay, guys, thank you guys so much for watching, and we
Thanks
can't
for
wait
letting
to
us
see you
heist
guys.
your time.
Hey, see you guys next week.